New Zealand is rapidly changing. The population is increasing at pace even though the birth rate is falling. Now, I would argue that the reason that the birth rate is falling is because the cost of safe and secure stable housing is out of reach for the majority of young Kiwis. And this didn't happen by accident. Successive governments created this mess. Importing more people than you have houses for pushes up house prices. But you knew that, didn't you, John and Jacinda? Now, poor Chris would be succeeding in doing exactly the same if so many Kiwis weren't escaping the mess that every previous government created. And it's not like he's not trying, he's got the taps wide open on immigration, poor guy. So to see what happens next regarding immigration, I have attached a link to a report from Stats New Zealand about national ethnic population projections. Now it covers 2023 to 2048, and it came out in September 2025. Now it's an interesting read for anyone wanting to see what is most likely going to happen in New Zealand if the current trajectory continues. They have put together a number of charts and facts. They tell us that the projections assume current policy settings and do not try to anticipate future major policy changes that may affect population change. So if the status quo were to remain the same, that's even before the Indian Free Trade Agreement, this was what was most likely to happen. Now it's the longest report as you can see, but I want to look at the raw data which can be found here. This chart comes from that data. You can see the blue line, that is the European share of New Zealand's population dropping as the Asian share rises and rises quickly. You can see that the Maori and Pacific Islander populations increase, but only by a very small percentage. And if I draw a very rough estimate line here, it looks like by around 2068, so in just over 40 years, the Asian population will overtake the European population in New Zealand. So what's causing that? Could it be a natural increase? Could it be that the Asian people already in New Zealand are having more babies and the Europeans are having less babies, and that is what's causing the increase? Well, no, because this report from Stats New Zealand, which there's a link to in the description, shows that Asian women actually have the least children in New Zealand. They have 1.32 children per 2 adults compared to Europeans, which have 1.56 children per 2 adults. So if the population increase was just due to birth rates within New Zealand, then the Asian population would be falling faster than the European population. Obviously, to keep a population stable, you have to have 2 parents having at least 2 offspring, so they are replaced. And that's just to keep the population stable. It is in fact only Maori and Pacific Islander populations whose population would be staying relatively stable at current trends. So this leads us to the obvious conclusion that the government plans to ramp up immigration. If we go back to this chart, the Asian population does look to start increasing substantially in 2026, with the increase accelerating over the next few years. And this was before the Indian FTA was agreed upon. So I suspect that this will have to be changed and ramped up a little bit more steeply now. And all of this is from Stats New Zealand, which is an official public service department of the government. And there's a lot of people out there who won't see a problem with such a rapid increase in immigration. But the problem is, such a rapid increase is going to put immense pressure on the rental market, which will put upward pressure on house prices, which is what they really want. And it will also put pressure on the already creaking infrastructure. Look at the roads. And never mind the schools and the hospitals and the doctors, etc., etc. And one big thing that nobody seems to care about is the immense pressure it's putting on young Kiwis who are being left behind. The ever-increasing unemployment rate for young Kiwis shows a shocking disregard for its own youth by the government. They would obviously rather import new people than train their own. Now what a complete betrayal that is. And the government will tell us that these new people are needed to look after the elderly. But what happens when these people get elderly? Is the plan just to keep on snowballing immigration forever? If that is the plan, then it is so short-sighted. So I thought, with the election coming up, let's go on each main party's website and see which of them actually mention immigration on their main home page. Obviously, it should get at least a mention on their homepage, which is the most important page. If Stats New Zealand, the government department, is telling us that immigration is going to ramp up very soon and probably after this next election. So this is the National Party's homepage. Nothing about immigration. Let's try Labour. Nothing. Let's try New Zealand First. Surely they'll have something. Nothing. Let's try the ACT Party. Nothing. Let's try the Greens. Nothing. Even though more and more people negatively affects the New Zealand natural environment. Let's try the Maori Party. Nothing. And the Opportunities Party. Nothing. So yes guys, it looks like we're just going to have to go with the flow. There is nothing we can do about the change that New Zealand is about to go through because none of the available political parties care enough about it to even put it on their home pages. Now it's a sad state of affairs, it really is. As long as the real estate developer donors get the extra bodies to fill their newly created dog boxes that are popping up everywhere, and the large employer donors get the extra bodies to keep wages suppressed, then we can all just continue living happily ever after, oblivious to the carnage that is being unleashed on Kiwi youth and on the Kiwi natural environment. So yes guys, is anybody else feeling politically homeless? Because I am. And thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers for that.